Good morning, students. How are you all? Children, in the previous lecture, I explained about disguised unemployment, which you know is a condition in which people are employed but not according to their potential. But there are also people who are not employed at all. In what ways can we increase employment for people? So I'm here to teach you how to create more employment in our country, India. Let's understand this with the help of a web diagram which you can see in front of your screens. How to create more jobs? The first point is diversification of agriculture. More than 60% of our workers are employed in agriculture, but our farmers are producing only limited crops. There is need to diversify agriculture. Farmers should be encouraged to adopt pisciculture, horticulture, animal rearing, etc., along with cultivation of crops. The government can spend some money or banks can provide a loan to construct wells or other irrigation facilities to irrigate the land. A dam can be constructed or canals can be dug to irrigate many farms. This could lead to a lot of employment generation within the agricultural sector itself, reducing the problem of underemployment. Second way is cheap credit. Most of the farmers depend on informal sources of credit. Government should encourage the commercial banks to provide loans to the farmers at cheaper rates. Third way is provision of basic facilities. Our rural areas lack basic facilities like roads, transportation, banking, market, etc. The government should invest some money in these sectors so that Indian village can be linked to other market. This activity can provide productive employment to not just for farmers but also others such as those in services like transport or trade. Fourth way is promotion of local industries. Promote and local industries, especially the cottage and small scale industries in semi-rural areas where a large number of people may be employed. Fifth point is improvement in education and health. Most of the Indian villages lack education and health facilities. A study conducted by the Planning Commission estimates that nearly 20 lakh jobs can be created in education sector alone. Similarly, we need many more doctors, nurses, health workers in rural areas. Sixth point is tourism or regional craft industry. Or new services like IT require proper planning and support from the government. Study by the Planning Commission say that if tourism as a sector is improved, every year we can give additional employment to more than 35 lakh people. Now, another provision that our government has provided is MGNREGA. What is MGNREGA? It is also known as Right to Work. It was implemented in 2005 by the Central Government of India, also called as Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, passed in 2005. The scheme aims to guarantee employment of those people in rural areas who are able to and are in need of work. If the government fails in its duty to provide employment, it will provide unemployment allowances to the people. It is implemented in about 625 districts of India. Now moving on to the next topic, here on the screen you can see the division of sectors as organized and unorganized sector. So here I have differentiated these two sectors. First point of organized sector is that there is job security, security of employment present in this sector and work is assured. But on the other side, unorganized sector, there is no security of employment. People can lose their jobs anytime. Second point is that workers are expected to work for a fixed number of hours and are paid overtime if they work overtime. But in the unorganized sector, workers can be worked overtime without compensation. Third point is they are registered by the government and have to follow many rules and regulations such as the Factories Act, Minimum Wages Act, etc. But in the unorganized sector, they are not registered by the government and they usually do not comply with the rules and regulations. Organized sector, they get benefits such as paid leave, payment during holidays, provident fund, etc. But in the organized sector, they get zero additional benefits at work. In the organized sector, people also enjoy medical benefits and a safe working environment, but in the unorganized sector, they are usually laborers and people engaged in contract work. They receive pension when they retire. This happens in organized sector, but they do not receive any pension when they retire. This is in the unorganized sector. So after understanding this, moving on to the next topic, sectors in terms of ownership. Here you can see that I have divided into two parts, public sector and private sector. The main aim of the public sector is public welfare, but the main aim of private sector is to earn maximum profit. Public sector is controlled and managed by the government, but private sector is controlled and managed by an individual or group of individuals. The sector provides basic facilities like health, education, food and security to the people. Examples, BSNL, post offices, etc. But in the private sector, it provides consumer goods to the people, for example, Tisco, Reliance, etc. Here on the screen you can see that how we can protect the workers in the unorganized sector. Here I have divided this topic into three parts. One, in the rural areas, second, urban areas and minority groups. Now, one by one, I am taking up these topics. There is a need for protection and support of the workers in the unorganized sector. So, how it is done in the rural areas? In the rural areas, the unorganized sector mostly comprises of landless agricultural laborers, small and marginal farmers, sharecroppers and artisans. Nearly 80% of the rural households in India are in small and marginal farmer category. These farmers need to be supported through timely provision of seeds, agricultural inputs, credits, storage facilities and marketing outlets, etc. Second is in urban areas. How in urban areas the workers can be protected. In the urban areas, the unorganized sector comprises mainly of the workers in small-scale industries, casual workers in construction, trade and transport, etc., and those who work as street vendors, head load porters, and rack pickers, etc. Small-scale industries also need government support for procuring and processing raw material and for marketing of output. The casual workers are required to be protected in their jobs and wages. The last topic is SC and ST. Minority Majority of workers from the scheduled caste, tribes, and backward communities find themselves in the unorganized sector. Besides getting the irregular and low paid worker, these workers also face social discrimination. Protection and support to the unorganized sector workers is thus necessary for both economic and social development. So, students, I hope you have understood the entire chapter. With this part, I am concluding this chapter, Sectors of the Indian Economy, and if there are any doubts, feel free to ask them in your live session. And here I am also attaching an assignment which you can also find on your ERP. So until then, goodbye, take care.